Last week, another preventable tragedy occurred in New Jersey. A mother and her 11-year-old daughter were killed in a wrong-way DUI crash. The other driver was Raul Luna Perez, an illegal alien with a lengthy criminal record. But DHS says he was never deported for these previous crimes due to New Jersey's sanctuary policies. Joining us with the latest is Fox News correspondent C.B. Cotton. C.B., what you got?
Hey, Joey, yeah, the head-on collision instantly killed the New Jersey mom, according to investigators. The woman's 11-year-old daughter later died at the hospital. And yes, the Trump administration is sounding the alarm, saying sanctuary policies kept ICE agents from taking the suspect off the street. This weekend, loved ones gathered to remember the lives of Maria Pleitez and her daughter, Dayanara Cortez. Pleitez reportedly immigrated from El Salvador more than 2 decades ago, and her children born in the U.S. Outlet The Lakewood Scoop was the first to report on last weekend's crash, gathering this disturbing video from the scene. DHS says an illegal migrant from Mexico, Raul Luna Perez, is responsible for crashing his Dodge Durango head-on into the mother's Nissan Sentra. First responders noticed on scene that Luna Perez seemed intoxicated, according to prosecutors who say he was then taken to an area hospital where his blood was drawn with a court-authorized warrant. Luna Perez now faces 2 counts of vehicular homicide and assault by auto. But investigators say the crash was not his first run-in with the law. Get this, he was arrested twice for a DUI charge in March and April of this year, and in June 2023, he was arrested for simple domestic violence.
When that domestic violence charge came, when those 2 separate DUI charges came, what those sanctuary city policies did was not allow ICE into those prisons to remove this illegal alien. Secretary Noem has said we've got to flood the zone. We have to then have all of our ICE law enforcement go into the streets and be targeting these criminal illegal aliens.
I want to mention the charges against the suspect could be upgraded after his blood test results are returned. So DHS says it's not clear when the suspect illegally entered into the U.S., but now ICE has lodged a detainer and started the process of removing him from the country while he remains in custody. We've reached out to New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy about the state's sanctuary policies and have not yet heard back.
Wow.
Joey.
Arrested that many times already. Thanks, CB. So ICE agents are doing everything they can to keep Americans safe from illegal aliens, and they're facing unprecedented threats because of it. Currently, there is a manhunt underway in Colorado for an illegal who tried to ram ICE agents with his car. He had entered the U.S. illegally half a dozen times, according to reports, and has been convicted of child sex abuse. But despite these dangers, Dems are making life more difficult for ICE agents and continue to call for unmasking them. Now they're gaslighting the public, claiming this is all about ensuring good relations with the community.
They're enforcing law anonymously, without a first name, a last name, a badge number. This is grave. This is at the core of community and law enforcement. There should be a good working relationship between law enforcement and community, and this is surely placing a huge obstacle in the way.
Molly, I think this is just such an amazing example of the fact that President Trump shut the border down. Border crossings are down at an almost marginal rate, and most are interdicted, they believe. But the leftover problem from the Biden administration for letting more than 4 million people in during his term, or I think it was maybe more than that, actually, I'm getting my numbers wrong, is that we're going to have instances like this. I mean, this specific thing, DUI crash, is something that hits hard for me because it's a big problem in my hometown, which has a lot of illegals in it.
Yeah, and this was something that critics of Biden's open border policy said was going to happen, and then we've seen this come to pass. We saw some of the crimes that occurred during the Biden administration that happened to Americans probably helped President Trump win the last election. And right now we're dealing with an interesting political phenomenon where there are these bills to unmask ICE agents. And some of them have, I think, a pretty offensive name. One of the federal suggestions is No Secret Police Act. So I feel like this effort to unmask our ICE agents is similar to the defund police movement in the wake of George Floyd's death, where now a lot of that sentiment is being walked back. And unfortunately, I wonder if it'll take a tragedy where some something happens to an ICE agent, for people that are on this level to walk that back.
It does feel like a powder keg. It really does. And we've been in this situation before on issues like this. Joe, talking about this potentially being it really lands on Biden's shoulders. This is what Biden had to say about it.
We see the apparent glee some of our politicians express. That's while watching immigrants who are in this country legally, torn from the arms of their family, dragged away in handcuffs from the only home they've ever known.
I just want to point out, it's not that these people are here legally. It's that under his administration, his policy was to not enforce illegal immigration and deportation.
Precisely. He said when he was running for president in 2020 that those who want to come into the country should surge the border. He encouraged it, and Trump's rhetoric obviously has shut it down. I want to go back to that New Jersey situation, being a Jersey guy myself, where tragedy, I shouldn't call it a situation, where we had an 11-year-old, I got an 11-year-old daughter, and the mother dies instantly, obviously DUI, head-on crash. We have our own Zohran Mamdani running for governor of New Jersey. Her name is Mikey Sherrill, and she has endorsed Mamdani already, and she is the mirror image of him. She just doesn't get as much attention because New York's a big city, and New Jersey, you know, maybe not so much as far as media attention, but yeah, she supports sanctuary cities. And as long as this happens, I don't know how the voters of New Jersey, I don't care you're Democrat or Republican, this is something that cannot exist anymore. We protect people who are in the country illegally, who have committed crimes. They should be deported, and we have candidates still running on this platform. I would think this would end, but right now she's leading in the polls, and she may very well be our next governor, and people got to wake up to this stuff.
Jerry, how can Democrats that applauded Gestapo tactics during COVID, like tackling people on the beach for being on the beach, and then turn around and turn their back on ICE, which are simply trying to keep us safe?
It's amazing. I mean, I just don't understand the Democrats right now, but we're in a situation where all kinds of strange things are happening. In our notes, there is a situation where an L.A. neighborhood patrol, what are they doing? Are they watching for bad guys? No, they're watching out for ICE.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that's a situation we find ourselves in now, and I think most Americans, you know, they've told pollsters what they think, but the Democrats just don't listen.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.